mga tao. Okay, great. Big.
Yeah.
How many floors is this?
Not sure.
My name is Judy and I'll be your guide for the next 35 minutes. Now before we go, I do need to remind everyone that we are on a battleship. This is not a cruise ship, folks. So please, watch your steps wherever you go. There is absolutely no running. Watch out for the headbangers and the knee knockers, especially once you're inside the ship. Now I know it's quite a hot day today, so I'm gonna try my hardest to get a shade as much as we can, but for right now, please follow me. I told you I'll get you guys shade. Right this way, folks. All right, everyone. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and turn around and take a look at our beautiful superstructure. This is the best shot of the ship that you have, so please go ahead and take lots of photos. And as you do so, I'm going to give you a little bit of history about the ship. Now, she was not here during the Pearl Harbor attack. She was still being made at that time. January 6th of 1941, her keel was laid, which means they started to build her on that date. It took 3 years to build her. On January of 1944, she was christened or launched by Mary Margaret Truman. She's a daughter of Harry Truman before he became president. Now, she is part of the Iowa battleship class. Her sister ships are Iowa, Wisconsin, and New Jersey. This basically means that they were all made from the same blueprints. She is 887 feet, 3 inches long. That's about the same length of 3 American football fields. She's 210 feet, 3 inches tall, about the same height of a 20-story building. Her speed is 33 knots. That's about 40 miles per hour on land. Now, to some of you, that may not sound too fast, but I do have to remind everyone that she does weigh a whopping 58,000 tons. So she actually is moving very, very fast. Also, compared to other battleships, her width or her beam is only 108 feet, 2 inches wide. Does anyone know why she was built so narrow compared to other battleships?
So she could fit through the canal?
Which one, sir?
Panama?
There you go, Panama Canal. Now, back in the days, Panama Canal was only 110 feet wide. If you do your math, she's got less than a foot on each side for her to get through. The sailors recall that every single time she went through the canal, it sounded like thousands of nails on a chalkboard just scraping on both sides, but she did manage to get through each time. Now she goes off and she participates in the evasions against mainland Japan, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa. 1950 to 1953, she does 2 tours in the Korean War where she earns 5 battleship stars. Sadly, in 1955, she was decommissioned. Then she was sent to a mothball fleet in Bremerton, Washington, where she rests for 29 long years. Luckily, in 1986, she was recommissioned. and the U.S. spends $475 million to upgrade this beauty. And this was back in the 80s, so you can imagine how much it costs now, right? But she did receive some awesome upgrades during this time. My personal favorite upgrade she received, and the one I'm truly missing right now, is some nice cold air conditioning. Back then, these men traveled all over the world without any AC, so I can't imagine what they had to go through. Other upgrades were Tomahawk and Harpoon missiles. And folks, you may have to look past the barrels, but if you look straight to your right-hand side, you'll see a white dome. It kind of looks like a trash can or a R2-D2 from Star Wars. Do you guys see that? All right, folks, that is your Felix Gatling gun. It's part of the CWIS, which stands for Close-in Weapon System, and that is indeed a radar gun. Now, do not underestimate that gun because of the size, because that gun can fire 3,000 rounds in just 1 minute, and we had 6 of them back when the ship was fully operating. Now, folks, 1991 comes along, and she participates in Desert Storm operation where Tomahawk missiles were first fired. 1 year later, 1992, she was decommissioned for the last time, and she's brought to Pearl Harbor in 1998. As I mentioned earlier, she was not here during the Pearl Harbor attack, but the only reason why she's here is for a very symbolic reason. As you can see right behind us is the USS Arizona. We call this the bookends of the war. USS Arizona is where the World War II began for the US, and right here on the Missouri, this is where the World War II has come to an end, not just for the US, but for the entire world. So it's a special location for you to experience the beginning and the end of the World War II all in one day. Any questions about the history of the ship? All right, folks, can someone tell me what type of wood you're all standing on? Very good. Very, very expensive wood, so please reconsider if you want to install them in your house. They are over $250 per plank. Several reasons why we have them in a battleship. These are slip resistant, they are water resistant, and most of the pieces you see here, believe it or not, are the original pieces from the 1940s. So obviously they are very, very long lasting. But the main reason is because these are also spark free as well, and they burn very, very slowly. Okay? Any questions? All right, folks, right this way, please. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to tell you guys about these awesome guns that we have on board. Whether if you have knowledge or interest in guns or not, I promise you that these Missouri's guns will definitely impress all of you. Now, folks, we have 3 turrets throughout the ship. This one here is gun turret number 1. Turret number 2 is right behind it, and turret number 3 is in the back, or the fantail of the ship. Each of these gun turret holds 3 16-inch 50 caliber guns. We call these guns 16-inch guns because the diameter of the gun barrels are 16 inches. Now, one barrel, not the whole gun, one barrel weighs 239,000 pounds. That's about the same weight of a small space shuttle. You add 2 of these gun barrels together and you have a 747 commercial plane, fully loaded. So these are very, very heavy guns. Now, what you see here, these turrets, this is not the whole thing. It actually goes down 5 to 6 deck levels below. Lowest level is where they hold those gunpowder bags. Do you guys see that in the canister? All right. You need 6 of those to fire one of those projectiles. That's what you're looking at over there. That one is the armor-piercing projectile, weighs almost 3,000 pounds. Those can pierce through 18 inches of steel and 30 feet of reinforced concrete before blowing up. Other type is a high capacity, weighs 1,900 pounds. Although they don't weigh as much as those guys do, they also do major damage. Upon contact, it'll blow up, creating huge craters, 20 feet deep and 50 feet wide. Now, when these guns are fired, projectiles, they will fly really, really fast, the speed of Mach 2. Let's see. She can actually fire across those mountains. Have you guys been to North Shore yet? All right, how long did it take you guys to get there? A good 30 minutes, right? Well, these projectiles will get there in about 90 seconds, okay? She can fire at targets she physically cannot see, and she will hit them on pinpoint, all right? 23 miles away in about 90 seconds. All of our guns, they can all fire at the same time, which means we will have 27 projectiles in the air before the first one ever fired will reach its target. All of our guns, they can all move up and down, side to side simultaneously. It will only take them 4 to 40 seconds for them to move from the port side all the way to the starboard side. So they can move very, very fast. These guns are never, ever fired in the current position that they're in right now. Can you guys guess what's going to happen if they are all to fire right now? Oh no. We're not gonna aim for the island, but folks, look where those guns are pointing at. If you were to fire those guns, you would end up blowing your own ship off. You would hit that radar and causing a huge fire, or even a lot of damage that can be done. You end up blowing your own ship off. So they are never ever fired in this position. They are always aimed to the port side or all the way to the starboard side before they fire. Only reason why these guns are positioned the way it is right now is for a very symbolic reason that we are looking over the USS Arizona. Alright? Now folks, these guns have a reload time of just 30 seconds. We can fire these guns very, very fast. What's more amazing is that you need a minimum of 77 to 120 men to fully operate these guns. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you guys seen the movie The Battleship, even the Under Siege. There's about 5 to 6 people inside these gun turrets operating it. Not true, it's impossible. You need a lot of manpower to operate these guns. Now, this is just my opinion, but Steven Seagal can't do it during the Under Siege. Chuck Norris, maybe, alright? Maybe. This is my opinion though, alright? Now folks, before we go, let me show you what that picture is on the side of the turret is. That is the map of Kuwait, and the 2 stars and the little island on the side, which is the Falaka Island. Those 3 areas indicate that 289 projectiles were fired into those areas during the Desert Storm operation. Keep in mind that this only happened in 1991, so not too long ago, right? Now another quick question for you guys. We have 9 guns on board, very powerful, very big guns. Picture them all aiming this way, firing at the same time, same exact direction. If they all fired, do you guys think the ship will move from the recoil? Yes, no, I don't know. Yeah. All right, who says no?
I would say no.
Why not, sir?
It's a heavy ship.
And you, sir?
Wait. It's probably depth.
All right, folks, we do not call her the Mighty Mo for nothing. She does not move at all, even if they all fired at the same time, same exact direction. Remember that she does weigh 58,000 tons. We have doors on this ship that weighs just as much as gun barrels do. It takes a lot more of a bang to move her. So folks, look at the bottom of the gun barrels, that black rubber stuff. Those are called your bloomers. Each time the guns fire, the bloomers collect air inside of them like this, and right behind it is a mechanism that recoils back 4 feet. So just think of it as it recoils within the gun turret. She does not move at all, even if they all fired at the same time, same exact direction. Yep, she is indeed the mighty Alright. Any questions about this guy? Alright, let me find my water. I don't know where, okay, there it is. Thank you. Alright, folks. Let's see how I'm going to move all of you. Alright. So let's go ahead and let this group pass, and we're going to try to go up to the surrender deck. That's the most important deck on the ship. Alright folks, please gather around me this way, take a couple steps. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to look around after the presentation. So for now, please stay very close to me. Awesome. Alright folks, so as I mentioned, this is the most important deck on the ship. This is the very location where the Japanese signed the unconditional surrender document, which ended the World War II. Now the date was September 2nd, 1945. Missouri was of course not here in Pearl Harbor. She was anchored out in Tokyo Bay in Japan. All those massive guns I mentioned before, they were all locked, loaded, aimed at Tokyo, just in case. Missouri was not alone that day. She had over 250 other Allied battleships by her side. They too were also locked, loaded, aimed at Tokyo. Does not end there, folks. We had over 900 aircrafts circling over Tokyo, just in case. Now, this was the first time the Japanese were ever surrendering, so we took all the precautions that we could and brought all of our Allied friends with us in case they did not show up or if they planned a sneak attack. Luckily, at 9:02 a.m., 11 Japanese delegations board the ship. They stand right over here, facing that way, with their backs turned towards Japan. At 9:04 a.m., General MacArthur, Admiral Nimitz, Admiral Halsey comes down the stairs and stand on the opposite side of the Japanese delegation. Then General MacArthur, he opens up with a short but very powerful speech. He talks about peace, tolerance, and rebuilding Japan. Now the Japanese, they were confused, completely thrown off, because they were pretty sure that once they boarded the ship, they were going to be mistreated, harmed, even killed. So much later on we found out that all 11 men, they attended their own funerals right before they boarded the ship. So they were pretty sure something bad was going to happen to them. But General MacArthur reassures them with his speech, and he welcomes them to sign. First person to sign is Foreign Minister Shigemitsu. He was dressed to the nines. I mean, the top hat, white gloves, the whole tuxedo. He removes his hat, removes his gloves, he sits down, and he signs on behalf of the Japanese government and the Japanese emperor. Second person to sign is General Umezu. Now this general, he was not a samurai, but he did live by the samurai code. And guess what? Samurai code, there is no such thing as surrender. It's dead. You're supposed to kill yourself before you surrender. So he did not agree with the emperor's decision at all. So it was the last act of defiance to show everyone that he did not want to be here that day. He shows no signs of respect. He doesn't remove his hat. He doesn't sit down. He doesn't even bend his knees in front of his enemies. But he does lean over just a little bit and sign on behalf of the Japanese military, then goes back to formation. Now the next person to sign is General MacArthur. He uses 6 pens to sign his name that day, solely for the reason he wants to give them out as souvenirs. But the first 10 pens he used that day are the most important pens. He signs part of his name, is with the General Percival. Other pen to General Wainwright. Now both of these generals, they were captured in the beginning of the war, and they spent the last 3 years in the Japanese prison camp. Both of these men were called POWs, prisoners of war. Both of these men, they're about 6 feet tall, and believe it or not, none of them weighed over 95 pounds each person. You can't imagine what they had to go through. They were there to represent all of the POWs that was captured during the World War II. Next person to sign is Admiral Nimitz on behalf of the U.S., and the other representatives sign after him. Now folks, I cannot stress enough just how important and special this location is. The war in Europe ended prior, so this is the location where it ended the World War II, once and for all, for everyone. That day, the whole ceremony itself ended at 9:25 a.m. Only took them 23 minutes to end the world's bloodiest conflict and most costliest conflict ever known to humankind. It is estimated, so we have no idea how close we are, but over 69 million people died during World War II, and the very, very worst part of it all was that 50 million, they were non-military. There were civilians and children, innocent people that died. And you have to think about it, back in the 40s, there was not that many populations of what we have now. So 69 million people is a lot of people that died. Next thing that happens this day, over 1,200 aircrafts do a flyover over the Missouri, letting everyone know, other ships know, that the ceremony went well. The World War II is now over for the entire world, and this all took place right here where we're standing. So this is a very, very special, very, very important location that you all get to visit today. Any questions? All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the plaque as for the table set, and the documents are over there. Those are not the originals. Let me know if you have any questions, and we have one more stop to go to in about 2 to 3 minutes.
As he sat, he pulled 6 pens out of his pocket, made them up a week. 6 pens. He wanted more than just one minute. Picked up the first pen, began to sign. He signed just a portion of his name. He stopped, he tapped the pen, and he handed it to the man standing alongside him. That man was General Jonathan Wainwright. Wainwright was an American general who was taken prisoner early in the war in the Philippines. Spent 3.5 years in a Japanese prisoner camp. Released just days prior to the surrender. He's on the ship and it's hard to pick up the second pen, same thing. Signed the blue cap and handed that to the man on the other side. That's behind it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna go down these ladders. We do call them ladders because they are a little bit more steep. So what we recommend you to do is to go backwards. It is the most easiest, most safest way to go down, and I promise you it is the best practice because there's going to be a lot more steep ladders as you're exploring the ship, and when you do, just go backwards, all right? So folks, right this way. Especially if my mom has a camera too. I know you guys. Go.
side.
Alright, much better. Alright folks, there's a lot of noise behind us, so please try to come close, and I'm going to tell you guys a quick story about kamikaze attacks that took place on the Missouri, and then you guys will be off to explore the ship on your own. Now for women's restroom, it's on the other side of this gun turret, to your left-hand side. Men's restroom is straight ahead to your right. You see that door over here? There's another identical door back of it, and those two doors will lead you to the second deck. Also, there's a mess deck. Lots of things to see down there. Nice cold air conditioning is down below. All right. You're also welcome to go to the upper deck. To get there, you're gonna keep going down straight. Follow the green circle with the white arrow. That will lead you to the top of the ship. Captain's bridge on the old forward deck as well. All right. So, folks, let me see. All right. Coming a little bit this way so we can let others pass behind us. Thank you. Now, folks, do you guys know what kamikaze is? It's suicide bombers, right? Now, before I worked here, I thought that the Pearl Harbor attack, during the Pearl Harbor attack, kamikazes were used, but I was wrong. The Japanese got the idea of using kamikazes as a weapon from the Pearl Harbor attack, because towards the end of the war, they were losing money. A lot of men, they started to use these kamikaze attacks as a last hope. Now, kamikaze does not actually mean suicide bombers in Japanese. In Japanese, it translates into divine wind. These kamikaze pilots are ages between 14 to 19. They only teach them how to take off. They don't waste their time teaching them how to land their aircraft. And of course, they're given just enough fuel to get to their destination. The aircraft are strapped with at least 500 pounds of bombs. Now, someone always asks me, why didn't they use the older guys for these one-way missions, right? Well, the answer is, in the Japanese military back in the days, these young men, they were brainwashed to think that being a kamikaze pilot was the best thing, the most honorable thing you can do for your country and for your emperor. So believe it or not, most of them were volunteers. Now, on this day, okay, everybody still hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. April 11, 1945, during the Battle of Okinawa, the Missouri is fighting off waves of kamikazes, hundreds of them, just attacking the ship at once. But one aircraft gets so close to the side of the ship, the crew members recalling the bullet holes and the pilot hunched over. Now this aircraft, it strikes the side of the Missouri, leaving a dent that is still here today. Luckily, the bombs fall underneath the water, does not detonate. At the top of the aircraft, it falls on top of the ship, creating a huge fire from the aviation fuel. Luckily, the crew members take the fire out in just a few minutes, and they make sure everyone's okay. No one's dead, no one's seriously hurt. But while they're cleaning up the debris, they do find a dead body. This body belonged to a 19-year-old petty officer, second class, named Yoshino. Once the crew members find this body, they are ready to just throw him out to the sea. What else are you gonna do with this guy? He's your enemy, and he just tried to kill you. But right before they do so, their captain tells them no. We're going to keep his body overnight and give this young man a proper burial. Now, I'm assuming, if not all, most of the Marines and the sailors did not like this idea. Why would you want to give your enemy a proper burial? But when your captain tells you to do something, what do? You ask questions? No. You say, yes sir, you carry on the order. So that night, they keep his body overnight. Now folks, when someone dies in combat and when they give you a ceremony, they cover your body with your nation's flag. But whose flag do we not have? The Japanese. Why would we? We're in war with them. We're not going to carry around their flag. So these crew members, they stay up all night, cutting and sewing, making the Japanese rising sun flag, and to give this young man the proper burial the next day. Now the next day, they give this young man a full honorary military burial, 6 rifles, everything from the Marines. That day, Captain Callahan explains to his men that this young man, he died for his country just as you and I would die for ours. basically he was just doing what he was being told to do, and he deserved a proper burial. Now the amazing thing is, year 2001, not too long ago, Ishino's older sisters, they showed great gratitude towards the U.S. and donate photos to us. You can see it on the other side over there. They're very, very thankful that the younger brother received the proper burial. So you can go ahead and check out the picture of Ishino and his family. There's a dent on the side of the ship as well, you can also check out. Now the ironic thing about the Kamikazes, they recovered tires from the Kamikaze attack. And those tires were Firestone tires. Where's Firestone made in from? In the USA, yes. They were using that to build Kamikaze aircrafts to attack us. So that's war for you guys right there. They do that. So, any questions about the Kamikazes? All right, folks. So this is the end of the guided tour. Thank you so much for coming on board. Please check out those photos. There's very amazing photos of the ceremony and the picture of Ishino and the Kamikaze attack right before he hit the ship. So it's a very fascinating photo. And the dent. If you're gonna go over there, do you guys see the two short pillars? It's right in front of it. But keep in mind, it's a very small dent. Small aircraft hitting a massive battleship, not much of a damage done. The dent is still there, never fixed. All right. So, folks, thank you very much. Stay cool and have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's okay, thank you.
Unauthorized person only.
Oy, birthing, ano? Ito pala yung ano nila.
Just go to the list.
Just go to the restaurant.
It's big, isn't it?
Bravo. Yeah. Or are they not coming?
you surprised how big these things are?
Yeah. 18